What did you think Hawaii was like when you were a kid? This is what I thought it was. I recently found this term Tropideco, and it sent me back to the 2000s, when I hoped that my family would get the chance to go to this far-off dream place, Hawaii. But I realized I couldn't remember where exactly I first saw this style, so I decided to make a video about my rediscovery. And by the end, I didn't just find my answer, but I also had some new perspective on appreciating art. But first, let me describe what I'm looking for. Tropideco is a design aesthetic which emulates familiar styles like tiki. It's meant to communicate the vibe of a tropical vacation, but it's unique in that it does so through fairly obvious methods of recreation. It's synthetic. It's not real palm fronds and thatched roofs. It's wallpapers and decorative pillows that communicate the same thing. So the bar is much lower than presenting a space that feels authentic. And you might have seen this aesthetic anywhere. Was it a mini golf course? Or the doctor's office that you used to go to as a kid? Was it that shopping mall before it closed? Tropideco has this quality about it where it feels both ubiquitous and rare at the same time to me, a characteristic that made it more difficult to personally rediscover. But I asked myself this first: was it TV? I remembered being a kid and watching cartoon episodes where the characters would conveniently get the opportunity to go to Hawaii, sporting sunglasses and leis. Suburban dads with cameras hanging from their necks, noses with that perfect stripe of sunscreen on them, and children crying on airplanes. I wouldn't even end up getting on an airplane until I was college age. Yet these cliches and imagery have been obvious to me since I was little. Was there a tropical vacation episode in Foster's Home? Could it have been Phineas and Ferb? Or maybe Aloha Scooby-Doo? But these were more generally tropical. They don't really have any artificial characteristics. You know, these could have been examples for other island destinations, but it's almost fitting that the only place I knew was Hawaii, given that Tropideco boils down an amalgamation of aesthetics and culture into something artificial and commercialized. It's a simulation, and it's even more plastic and kitsch than popular American tiki bars and restaurants. Though I do love a good tiki bar, but that's for sure not the first place I had ever seen it. And my family, honestly like most others, didn't ever have the money to actually go to Hawaii, so it wasn't there either. We did go on vacations to the coast though, to smaller coastal towns by the water, with murals of palm trees and clear waters, towns that have those t-shirt shops with the giant shark entrance at the front. The whole style has the charm and vibe that mini golf places do, sort of a repackaged miniature version of memorable icons, like the tiny plaster windmill. It's not quite real, but all the same, it's what I thought these places were like as a kid, probably because somewhere along the way, in many small places like video games, movies, or TV, we were sold that idea, just in a form that was cheap enough to afford, and that part makes me a little sad. In remembering this style, you also have to think about harder times. When I was a kid, the only way I would ever be able to live out those Disney Channel summers was through sitting too close to the TV. Honestly, Disney Channel had quite the effect on me as a kid. In the 2000s, I thought having carpet or a second story was the peak of luxury, and I got that idea from the homes in Disney Channel original movies. When I'm driving through nicer neighborhoods today, my friends and I call nicer homes Disney houses. Now, years later, my brain is a size big enough to understand that a lot of the circumstances in those originals are just movie magic. But still, as a kid, I often felt like there was so much presented on TV that you just never got to experience in real life. And ironically, I think that's kind of why I feel drawn to these images. I feel a bit of heartache thinking about that time. Maybe it's that I don't have the power to go back and give myself some of that experience. Maybe it's also just thinking about how much time has passed since then. Yet, I'm drawn to these images because of that feeling. Finding pictures that can elicit that small grief feels therapeutic in a way. Does anyone else feel like this? But I also found that parts of my connection to Tropideco are more optimistic too. When I see this classic image of a bedroom, I imagine my little kid self sitting there, crisscross applesauce. I imagine a time when I was little and my brain could believe that peel and stick bamboo wallpaper was Hawaii. A moment where something as simple as a dolphin plushie could bring this unreachable destination. A place every character on TV dreamt of visiting, right to your home. And so when I look at these pictures, I feel this happiness too. I might describe Tropideco as fake and plastic, but in some part I'm a product of it. So I do have a genuine fondness of it. Fiberglass plants and all. Thinking about this makes me want to be someone who is more appreciative of art and aesthetics. With so many public places being devoid of life and bolder stylistic choices, it makes stepping into a space with a theme, especially one which can take you back and provoke some kind of feeling, into something more special. Then it hits me. It's not quite the same, but when I thought about the intersection between places with bolder themes like tiki or nautical and the 2000s and television.
There's so much to do at Nickelodeon Spritz Resort! Pancakes!
Oh my god. SpongeBob. No shit, of course. It was SpongeBob that I was remembering. So I love SpongeBob's early art style and its concept art. But how is this a separate thing than the other cartoons I brought up before? Well, I'd say that SpongeBob's art has always incorporated this human/artificial element in its direction. The town being made out of mufflers, the Krusty Krab is a crab trap, the Chum Bucket is a bucket, and Mr. Krabs' house is just an anchor. But the best example I can think of is Squidward's house being a moai. It's both an icon of Polynesian culture, but it is also a popular fixture for at-home aquariums. I would also throw in the fact that SpongeBob's early art style used colors that were much darker and muted, which personally reminds me of the sort of blacklight look that aquariums and some key Tropideco images have. Even the lower fidelity of frames from early SpongeBob and its concept art reminds me of the haziness you get with the more bloomed out photos. But speaking of aquariums, I used to go to PetSmart with my parents all the time. I must have seen their section with the pet fish a lot. And between that and SpongeBob, I feel pretty confident I have my answer actually. Looking back at these photos, especially this one, yeah, spaces like these give you a sense of how it would be if you could just shrink down and step into a little blacklight aquarium. And the way a lot of Tropideco motifs are incorporated using faux and artificial decor you would buy for a fish tank. Something I would have seen all the time, but isn't exactly that noticeable for me considering I've never had pet fish before, which I'd say explains why I felt Tropideco has this common but uncommon feeling to it. And then I realized something. This is one of those classic 2000s fish nightlights. I was gifted this one by a friend, and it's sitting on my desk right in front of me. It wasn't the original, but I used to have one of these, albeit it's not specifically Tropideco, but I think it fits enough of the key elements of it. As a little kid, I was afraid of the dark, so having this light around probably meant a lot to me. So I think I've found it. This is what my first encounter with Tropideco was. But it may not have been yours. I noticed that there isn't much online about Tropideco yet. So let me know how Tropideco makes you feel personally, and where you think you might have first seen it. Hey y'all, this is Mint. Thanks for watching until the end. This is only my third YouTube video I've put out, and having more watch time would really help me, so if you would, please check out my channel. I would recommend my other video I did where I explore some shocking videos I found on old Roblox YouTube. Or leave a comment, they really help me stay motivated. Thanks.